Oh man. Okay, I've run into Bellari stuff on Amazon dozens of times. This brand has a bunch of audio mixers and signal processors, basically stuff I'm not interested in. But one of their amps kept popping up. I put that amplifier at the back of my mind thinking I'd eventually look into it. And a few weeks ago, I went back to that Bellari amp. I looked online for a review and couldn't find anything. I was a little surprised. So I reached out to Bellari and asked if they would send me one of their amps to review. They said yes. I introduce the Bellari Audio HA543 headphone amplifier. It's $99 and has several worthwhile features. Bellari Audio is an extension of Rolls Corporation. If you're a professional mixer or an artist, you've likely run into the Rolls name. Under the Bellari name, Rolls has made two amplifiers, the solid-state HA543, the one here, and a tube hybrid, the HA540 Mark II. Bellari proudly says on their website and the product packaging that all their stuff is handmade in the United States. That is a plus from me. The 543 is palm-sized. It's made of metal and a rubberized knob that turns smoothly. The knob has some resistance to it, so you're not going to accidentally turn the volume up or down when you reach for one of the flanking buttons. Speaking of buttons, the 543 has the power button next to the blue LED on the right side of the unit. There's also an enhance button and a mute button. The 543 has a 3.5mm and a 1/4-inch output. It has an RCA in and pass-through along with a balanced XLR input. The mute button does what you'd expect, it mutes the audio. Someone might ask why this is necessary when the volume knob is, right there. Well, there are some occasions when you'll want to mute the audio but need to keep the volume exactly where you left it. Without a digital readout, it's very hard to return to the volume you were at before you turn the knob all the way back down. The mute button will take care of that. If you need to switch headphones quickly for an A and B test, hitting the mute button will make sure when the second headphone is plugged in, the volume is still matched. So yeah, it's a small thing, but frankly, it has its use scenarios. And it doesn't take anything away from the experience, it only adds to it, so I'm okay with it. Then there's the enhance button. You know how hifi likes to include bass boost and 3D filters? The enhance button on the Bellari does the same thing. Bellari doesn't say what the button is actually doing to the signal, but it does say that the button makes, quote, low-quality headphones that are not very fun to listen to and makes them much more entertaining to the listener. Bellari says that when the enhance button is not on, the HA543 is 100% completely flat. You know what? The enhance button really does something pretty noticeable. I can't put my finger on it just yet. It's going to take many more hours of listening through various headphones to fully understand. For my initial impressions, I plugged the 543 into a new acquisition of mine, the Jolita Glass FX DAC Mini. It's a very simple, tiny DAC that has been discontinued, and it's one of the very few standalone DACs around that use burr brown chips. I paired the Bass Audio G12, the Abasso SR1, unboxing and review coming eventually, and the Modhouse Argon with the HA543. Believe me when I tell you this, the teeny tiny HA543, the palm-sized American-made amplifier, can easily drive your argons. Zero volume on the 543 is about 7 o'clock. At about 10 o'clock, the argons get loud enough for me not to hear my typing on my keyboard. At 1 o'clock, the argons get super loud and the bass boom they are known for comes alive. There's a ton of power still left in the 543, but your argons won't need it, and you should definitely not try it for the sake of your ears if nothing else. Suffice it to say, the other headphones I tried had no problems being driven by the 543. The enhance feature does something different with each headphone. For the SR1, it added a bit of sub-bass presence and thinned out the mids by a few decibels. The treble became just a tiny bit elevated. The SR1 has an interesting sound signature and can sound relatively dark at times, but the enhance feature on the 543 changed that very quickly. With the G12, the enhance feature wasn't so flattering. The G12 already has excellent bass response, and the additional bass just made it sound a little muddy. Moreover, the treble increase made the G12 sound very sibilant. On the argons, oh man, This was pretty cool. With the enhance button on, the argon sub-bass and mid-bass came alive. It kicked the bass up a few notches, adding a bit of rumble. The treble increase was just perfect with the argons. I ended up using the argons for the majority of my initial listening test, which lasted about 2 hours. Are there any immediate issues with the 543? Well, yeah, there is one. I hear a slight hissing noise in all of the headphones when the volume goes past 1 o'clock with no music playing. At first I thought it was an issue with my RCA connection with the Glass FX DAC. I mean, it is pretty old. So I unplugged the DAC from the amplifier, but the hissing remained. When music is playing, there's no hint of that hissing sound. The hissing is more prevalent when the enhance feature is active. Now, this could be a power supply issue, or it could be my power strip. The thing is, all of my other amps connected to the same power strip don't exhibit this slight hiss. It might be that the unit I received has some issue. Well, whatever it is, I'm not particularly concerned at this juncture, and the reason is pretty simple. This thing sounds darn good. The HA543 is not a replacement for your THX amplifier. No, this is not the $100 Massdrop 789 killer. Get that out of your mind. But the 543 has raw power, great build, and an option for a more engaging sound signature. I'm looking forward to reviewing the HA543, but so far, it's definitely an excellent match with the Modhouse Argon, and that's not easily done.